Hello, Mason the Rock Henderson here again, reviewing Supergirl for some reason again. And God, this show is just awful. Like I don't. I was watching what was it? I think it was NCIS or something the other night. Or no, it wasn't NCIS. It was I forget. No, it was Librarians. Duh. It was on last night, and commercial came on for Supergirl, and I see all these great reviews about it. And of course, I'm not looking at who's reviewing it, so it's probably some random review, like random newspapers and stuff. Because man, what a crappy show. I mean, just okay. Let's just go ahead and talk about it because I was planning on possibly watching Gotham and then watching Fargo when it comes on, a little bit later, so I could just do all three reviews. But it's so bad, I just gotta talk about it before I forget all these points, because they need to be addressed. Because first of all, I already talked about how now Jimmy Olsen is not this pasty-faced, red-haired, freckled kid anymore. Now he's this grown-up, adult, black, bald guy, and just out of nowhere. Now, not only obviously the rich Jimmy Olsen that I know, he's friends with Superman. I know that. He's never known who Clark Kent is. He's never known that Clark Kent is Superman, at least in anything that I've seen. Now, I'm starting off talking about this early because generally I don't think people look at this review and think, oh, 20 minutes, I'll watch through all of it. So I'm going to start off with this early. So hopefully, if there are any comic book nerds that know a lot about Superman, is there any universe in which Jimmy Olsen is black or in which he knows Superman's secret identity? Because in this show, it's like secret identities don't even matter anymore. And DC, Marvel's always been about the secret identity thing. I mean, Captain America, everybody knows it's Steve Rogers because he doesn't exist in our timeline. He was frozen and put into our timeline, so he doesn't have family to care about. Iron Man, Tony Stark, he's just like, hey, I'm Tony Stark, I'm awesome. Thor, he doesn't need a secret identity. He's an alien from another world. The Hulk, everybody knows it's Bruce Banner. And Spider-Man obviously has a secret identity, but that's like one of the very few superheroes that have a secret identity. Daredevil is another one I can think of. But DC, all of these characters that that I'm thinking of, Batman, Superman, The Flash, Green Arrow. I'm pretty sure, Flash and Green Arrow I don't know as well, but all of these for the most part have secret identities because they're important in this universe. This universe is all about secret identities. Even though they're most of the time pretty bad, it's like they look the same just with glasses. How can you not see that? But in this show, it's like, first of all, Jimmy knows that she's Supergirl. He knows that Clark Kent is Superman now, out of nowhere. She reveals her secret identity to her friend at work because he's my friend. Her sister, she has a sister that knows who she is that works inside the government for the secret task force, so a lot of people know her secret identity. And just, it's like it doesn't even matter. And once again, just like in the first episode, she's so obvious. She's having this very loud conversation with, I think it was Olsen, and she's just talking right next. No, she's having a conversation about superheroing, and there's a person standing not even 3 feet away. Really? Really? Like, the show is supposed to be more secret than that, and it goes beyond believability at this point. Like, obviously you have to suspend your disbelief because it's a superhero show. It's not gonna be realistic. This is about an alien from another planet that it has superpowers. They don't exist in our world right now. So you have to suspend your disbelief, but there's a certain point where you have to keep it kind of realistic. And this is that point. The fact that she wants to keep her secret identity but she's talking about it with people all around her, within earshot. She's saying superhero. She's saying stuff about what she did that morning, about the oil spill that she caused, which was stupid, by the way. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's problem number one. Problem number two, the opening. They did a full recap. It's one thing to say last time, watch The Walking Dead or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or even NCIS. Even NCIS that only does what happened last time a few times because they don't generally have a running storyline. But this was like last time on Supergirl, and they proceed to tell us everything that happened, recapping the entire show, including the last fight. Like everything that happened in the last fight, they pretty much showed us the last fight. It was about 2 minutes long. For what's supposed to be a quick recap became a full recap, showing us almost everything that happened. It's just like, why? You only need to tell us certain parts. And even then, not much was that important. Like, most of this stuff kind of is in this episode already. You already revealed that it's her aunt that's the main bad guy, which, way too soon. And once again, she's meeting with this alien that's killing people, for some reason, because he needs fuel or he needs food or whatever. She meets with him and makes it a big deal that Supergirl, my niece. It's just like, we know it's your niece. Thank you for telling us for the 500th time. Ugh. So, the opening was just, it was too long, showed us way too much. If you want to recap, do it quickly, make it quick cut, make it the important stuff that you're not going to re-show us in this episode. So there's that. The story with the sister. It intrigued me last week. I said the sister was one of the more believable characters. Her acting is pretty good. In this episode, it just takes... I don't even know what they were thinking. They're inside of this base, and she's done some of the superhero stuff, and the director of the base is like being hard on her because he doesn't trust her skills yet. And so her sister takes her into this room and like punches her, and she falls down and tells her that this room is filled with Krypton. Not enough to harm her, but enough to take her powers away. And then proceeds to fight her. And it's kind of like a fighting montage, except the fighting isn't there. It's poor fighting. And I said, the fighting and the CGI in the first episode was bad. This fighting is just like... It makes the Librarians fighting look good. And if you haven't seen the Librarians, their fighting is very cheesy. It's very cheesily done, but I think that's part of the charm that the show brings. It's supposed to be cheesy. In this, it's supposed to be filled with action. That's one of the things that got me interested in the previews. We're seeing some of the action shots. It looked pretty good in the previews, and then cut to the actual fighting when it's not cut, and it looks terrible. In this one, they're fighting. First of all, they're hardly fighting. It's like just circle, 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 swing, and her sister just do, and punches her again. And first of all, the scene, you realize it's going to come into play later because it's such a cliche. Her sister teaches her about, if you're fighting a stronger opponent, you have to learn to deflect their strength against them. And of course, it's going to come into play later. But they don't say anything about that. Like, her sister gets pissed off because, I'm using pronouns too much. Kara gets pissed off because, Alex beats her and slams her up against the wall, and she turns off the Krypton. She's like, whatever, and walks out. And then the director comes in and he's like, she may not like it, but you may have just saved her life. How? You just fought her for a little bit, not very well fighting, like the choreographed fighting, obviously, and that happened for like maybe 5 minutes. It felt like 5 minutes. It was probably less, but it felt longer than it really was. And then she just walks out of the room, no explanation. But you probably saved her life. Okay, it's so random. It was just out of nowhere, and that's that. What other? Okay, you've got the head of this news company that Kara's working for. I don't even remember the name of it because I don't care. But she's just typical, power hungry woman. That's not a sexism thing. That's just anytime in a movie or a TV show when there's a woman that has power and she's driven mad by that power, they all act just like this woman acts. Everybody is dead to them. They can never do anything right, and if anything's the slightest bit off, take it back. It's the same thing. I've seen it so many times. Do something different, please. This lady is just so... She has no redeeming qualities. She is only in business because she wants power. There's no good reason for it. And it's so bad. Her acting is so poor. She's seems just stuck up because she is. No explanation needed. I'm just stuck up because I can be. I'm in this position. I'll do what I want. And that's pretty much it. That's the only explanation you need for her. But it starts off the same as several other stories. Supergirl's not doing good. She's making mistakes. She goes to save this this oil ship. There's fire near it. She tries to blow the fire away with her super breath. Instead, just makes it, more for some reason. And so she decides, I'll just move the ship. So she starts pulling the ship away, which once again, CGI, terrible. But then she pulls it too much on the front and rips it open, so the oil spills out. So she messed up. And then the head lady, whatever her name is, she's like, I need an interview with Supergirl. We need to. She's gonna make mistakes, but we need to help her. We need to get her on the right track. Yeah, because you stepping in will definitely help her get on the right track. Her whole plan is, she needs to start off small. And of course it's the whole same thing where Kara's alone in the office with her. Well, what would you tell her to do if she were right here? Why are you asking? What does this matter to you? You just get the coffee? Oh, I'm just wondering. Well, let me tell you everything that I would say, just in case you might be Supergirl, and this might help you later. So, she tells her to start off small, so she enlists the help of James and Wynn, the love triangle that's bound to happen, because the show has pretty much done every other cliche. But she tells them that she needs to start small, so they start giving her all this different stuff to the beat of... I don't even remember what song it was, but when I heard it, I was like, really? Hit me with your best shot. Of course, because, we want this to be a cliche girl fighting show. Okay, if you made it this far in the review, pause it, open up a new tab on YouTube, look up Jessica Jones previews. It's Jessica Jones. I've never even heard of her, but the previews for the show make me want to watch it. It's a woman superhero by the name of Jessica Jones, and it looks incredible. That's what I was worried about when I was watching previews for Supergirl. The whole woman superhero aspect. Because there's several cliches having a woman main character, several cliches that get done so much. And one of them is like the woman power. You don't need that. You can have a woman be a superhero, especially in this time whenever equality is so important. Just have her be a superhero. She doesn't have to be a woman superhero. She doesn't have to stand up and say, yeah, women are great. She just has to be a superhero. I can respect that. It doesn't matter whether she's a man or a woman. Just the fact that she's a superhero is all I want to see. But they have to make it a big deal that it's woman power, and it just takes away from the show. It takes away from everything the show is trying to do. Frustrating as heck. So anyway, she starts. The only good thing that I remember about this, and it started off as like a groaning moment. They're giving her all these different things to do, all these small jobs, stopping a robbery, helping an ambulance out of traffic to get there on time. And then Wynn's like, I got a classic for you, cat stuck in a tree. I'm just like, seriously? All this stuff and you're going to make her get a cat? And then it turns out it's a snake because this girl named her Snake Fluffy. That's the only clever thing that this episode had to offer. And that's really scraping the bottom of the barrel. But it made me laugh, so I thought I'd mention it. Anyway, so she finishes all these small jobs. Elsewhere, the DEO have this plan put in place to capture this alien guy that's killing people. Apparently, he was working for Kara's aunt, but not really. I wasn't really sure what was going on, but these people catch up to him, and she comes up. And like I said, she's wants her niece. Let me make sure did you get that? It's my niece. My niece. Stop saying niece. You said it 3 times at the end of the last episode. Don't need to hear it again. Anyway, but basically she wants Supergirl. And so DEO had this plan to capture him, bring all this food that he is eating, it was some weird thing, but put it all in one place, like a big ton of it, so he'll sense it and be there, and then they'll capture him. And so instead of doing something smart, like putting it in a location and then ambushing the guy, they decide to put it into a back of a truck and drive that truck. So the guy jumps on the back of the truck, and instead of stopping the truck so they can capture him, they just proceed to shoot out. The truck is in front of them with all the food. They're behind that truck, and so they just pull out their guns and start shooting. And hope they don't hit the driver. That's the best plan you could come up with. That's really, let's put it in the back of a truck and then shoot at him. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So then he jumps off the back of that truck, shoots whatever needle things come out of his hands, shoots it at everybody in the back seat, shoots one in the leg of Alex in the passenger seat, and then takes her out. Why? Oh, they must know that Alex is her sister, and nope. He picked up a human because Kara's aunt needed one. She needed a human, one of the agents. And it just happened to be her sister. What a coincidence. Really? You couldn't have made it clever. You couldn't have shown Kara's aunt maybe, spying on Kara, maybe find out that that's her sister somehow, maybe find out where the pod went, find out the family name, and then find out that this daughter that they had that was Kara's adopted sister, now she's grown up in one of these DEO agents, and that's the one you need. No, they just randomly pick her sister. And this is after killing everybody in the back seat, which it shows them all okay, even though they all got shot in the heart. Well, we all got shot with those needle things, but we're okay. We're just minor injury. It just went through my heart. It's okay. Marvel does this stuff all the time. Okay. So, kidnap her sister. Kara's upset that her sister's gone and that this guy didn't tell her that they had a plan, a very poor plan. And so she is listening. Here's this conversation between Alex and her aunt, which, let me just get the name. I think it's Atma? No. I hate it when I forget names. I'm just going to call her aunt because that's just so much easier than trying to remember some stupid name. But she hears this conversation going on between Alex and her aunt, and so you're like, okay, so now she knows. And she gets there. Alex is like, it's a trap. What? Gets punched. Doesn't look realistic at all. It's like, ugh. Oh, that looked real. That looked like a real Kryptonian punch. And she's like, you're supposed to be dead. Everybody died. Do you think it's your mother? Like, you just heard the conversation between, like, her and her aunt. How did you not, if you heard that conversation, you know what they said, how did you not make the connection that it's, they don't explain much of anything. It's just all supposed to it's there, it happens, okay. Stupid. Just stupid. Not only do you reveal that the aunt is the bad guy in the first episode, why not save that? You also have Kara finding out that the aunt is the bad guy in the second episode. Because you couldn't... It's like this is what they wanted to do. They're like, okay, here's going to be the big twist. The bad guy is her aunt. And Kara's going to have a battle with her aunt. But we got to do it early on so people will get hooked fast. We got to throw all the aces up our sleeve that we have. We got to throw them out on the table in the first 2 episodes. Why? That doesn't make any sense. It's like at the beginning of, what's that movie? Sixth Sense. If Haley Joel Osment's character at the very beginning, like, was that I see dead people, and you see that Bruce Willis's character dies. All that happens at the very beginning of the movie, and the rest of the movie is just, you sit through the same thing. That's pretty much what that is. You reveal the plot twist too early in the movie, or too early in the show, you've got nothing else to go on. You've got no mystery. You've got no intrigue. It's all out there. First episode, oh, her aunt's the bad guy. Second episode, now she knows. Happy? Isn't that exciting? No. Now what is there left to do? She's already had the epic fight with her aunt, so that's done. Next time, obviously, she's gonna be better. But it's just, it happens so fast. We're in the second episode, people, and she's already fought the main bad guy. She already knows who the main bad guy is. We know who the main bad guy is. And it's just... so much potential just wasted. And I hate it because I'm a big fan of superhero shows. Obviously, I love Marvel because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Daredevil was amazing. Jessica Jones looks awesome. All the Marvel movies are really good. Even DC, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Man of Steel, a little dark for my taste, but still really good. And so the fact that this show has so much potential and just throws it out the window the first 2 episodes, really disappointing. I am really disappointed because this show could have done a lot of great stuff. That's my main rant. So I got the main rant out of the way. There's 2 more stupid things that we need to talk about. Stupid thing number 1. James is ordered by the head honcho of this company that he needs to get her a sit down with Supergirl, which of course he doesn't want to do because he thinks that Kara will be found out, or no, she thinks that she'll be found out, and he's like, nah, she doesn't even really know your face. Just like, but she, what? So, there's that, and the funny thing is, there comes a point, like she asks him and he says no, and then later on she's like, so what happened? I thought I told you to get on that. He's like, look, I can't. She says, okay, well, it's either that or you're fired. Like, she doesn't say that. In fact, she says something even better. She's like, well, he's like, and if I don't, she says, well, I guess the Daily Planet can have their photographer back. Okay, So yeah, I knew the show was gonna do what I knew the show was gonna do the whole interview thing, and in the end, like it shows her picking her car up and unfortunately not dropping it into a fire explosion. She takes it to the roof so they can have their interview. And I knew they were gonna do that, but seriously, if you're James Olsen, if you're Jimmy Olsen, you're friends with Superman, you are a well-renowned photographer, and you are for some reason you were at the Daily Planet and now you're working for this company, for this evil, like just despicable woman, and she said, "Get me an interview with Supergirl, or you can go back to the Daily Planet." Well, look, I don't want to get you an interview with Supergirl because Supergirl is my friend, and you don't deserve it. Um, but on top of that, I think Daily Planet sounds better anyway, so peace out. And just walk out. When I first heard this, I started laughing. I was like, I'd take the Daily Planet job. I would. I would just walk out. I don't care. Why would I want to work for her anyway? Is the pay better? Maybe. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. But the show must go on, I guess. And what would she do without Jimmy Olsen? What would the writers of the show do without Jimmy Olsen? Without that name linking this whole thing to Superman? What would they do? So anyway, that's that dumb story. Second dumb story, the whole fight at the end. First of all, like I said, doesn't look like a fight at all. Like, it's punch, fly, punch, fly. Like, it's fast motion. It's like punch, but then sometimes they're fighting in the air. It's punch, slowly fall backwards, and then the next time, punch, fly out of the building. You're like, okay, this lacks consistency. Sometimes they punch and they're gone. Sometimes they punch and they like are stumbling backwards in the air. And you're just like, are their punches powerful or not? Please explain. So the fighting was bad. The alien that they've been chasing the whole time with the needles in his hand shows up to kill Alex while those cars fighting her aunt. To kill Alex for what reason? Oh, no reason. Alex just needs something badass to do, so we'll have her kill the alien. Oh, okay. No sense whatsoever, but okay. And so, she kicks him in the nuts, because she makes this stupid joke about it. One thing humans have that aliens have too, kicks him in the nuts. Those. Oh, that's supposed to be funny, but it's not at all. And then turns his needle on himself, kills him. So that ends that battle. Kara punches her, uses the fighting technique that her sister showed her, of course. Use their strength against them. Okay. Swing! Throws her out of the building. That was too easy. And of course Alex comes in. I'm like, please kill off Alex. That'd be awesome. Like, her mother just comes in, lasers her in the head. That'd be awesome. No. She comes flying back in. That's flying back in. Then, what's his face? The head of the DEO, like, comes in to help out or whatever. And Kara's aunt picks him up by the throat. And I'm thinking, break his neck. Oh, break his neck. That would make the show so much better. Break his neck. No, he takes out a Kryptonian knife, stabs her in the arm. And, yeah, the whole thing about how Krypton, like, weakens Superman's powers to where he can't fly or do anything, except in Superman Returns, when he lifted the island of Kryptonian rock out. But we all know that movie sucks, so we can forgive it. But in this case, with a Kryptonian knife in her arm, she flies quickly out of the building. Powers all intact. That's a way to change the story some more. And they did some weird thing where, okay, I do need to talk about this because I guess this is going somewhere. First of all, the sister tells Kara about Superman's uh, House of Solitude or whatever that he has in the Arctic, and I'm like, ooh, is she gonna go to the Arctic and like is she gonna be able to talk to Superman's dad too? Is this where this is go? No, they built a machine that is somehow able to project her mother and all the answers because they can do that stuff now. Did you know that? Did you know that's the military? All this new advanced technology. Now they can recreate Superman stuff. It's that easy, and you wonder why Superman hasn't been taken down yet. Because if they're doing this, how is Lex Luthor not doing this stuff already? How is he not? I'm sorry. I should have been thinking logically about this. What was I thinking? You can't use logic on this show. So she gets to see her mother or the hologram of her, and then they have that really stupid, cheesy line like, "What would you ask of whatever her mom's name is?" "I would ask for a hug." Come on, really, really? And it's like, I'm not programmed to do that. Oh, that was pointless. And she's like, "Tell me about Aunt whatever." And that's how that scene ends. And then it shows the director talking to Alex, and as he's walking away, his eyes like glow red. You're like, wait, what? He's evil? Like, when did this start? What? Why? What? Ugh. It gives me a headache thinking about it. And then it shows the aunt talking to this guy who analyzes it and analyzes the knife and tells her about it. She's like, "Well, we have to move back our plans now because apparently the humans are actually smarter than we thought." And that's pretty much how the episode ends. Well, like I said, it ends with her about to give the interview to evil, mean, stereotypical boss lady. Let's see. If I had a word to best describe this episode, it would be mess. Just an absolute mess. No real sense about it. And the show is just jump the shark. I learned this term recently because I don't if there's slang and stuff in movies and TV shows. I've heard jump the shark before, but I never really understood what it meant, and I just recently learned what it means when a show jumps the shark. The show did it. It's already done it. It's done it about 3 or 4 times in just this episode. Just the lack of believability, the lack of care taken with this, with everything. Like you think about movies and stuff and the way they handle characters. You would never see Clark Kent talking to, Lois Lane and just spills his guts to her with somebody standing right there. Like he wouldn't do that. No character does that. But Kara's character is just like, she doesn't care that people are right next to her when she's talking about, messing up being a superhero earlier that day. She is so obviously Supergirl. The way she acts around people when they're talking about Supergirl, like it doesn't even take a lie detection expert to see what's going on. It's so poor. I don't know if it's the acting or if it's just the writing that is so bad about it, but it's so bad. It is so bad, and on the one hand, I want to review it because all the other shows that I watch besides Bones right now are good or pretty good. And so I feel like I do need one bad show to review because I need experience with bad shows. But it's so hard to watch. It really is. Like, I want to turn on something else. I would have much rather gone to Gotham and watched that, because it's not perfect. You know, there are a lot of problems with Gotham right now, but you know what? It's so much better than the show. At least the acting is amazing. You know, it has great acting. The story's intriguing, and the characters are enjoyable. The show really has nothing going for it, besides the fact that, you know, it's like they just picked a bunch of attractive characters. They're like, yeah, that's close enough. You know, this guy, he's close enough to Jimmy. What are you talking about? I mean, come on. Everybody knows Jimmy's a hunk. That's the whole point, okay? Jimmy's supposed to be a hunk. What? Okay. So, that's about it for this review. I don't think I missed anything. I'm about to start ranting again about everything that I just ranted on. As you can tell, I almost ranted on Jimmy again. So, yeah, that's it for this one. Cannot wait for Fargo to cheer me up. So, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.